We have an engaging workshop designed to enhance your practical skills in digital tools. Firstly, we'll explore e-pharmacy dashboards and visualization techniques that don't rely on traditional softwares like Excel or Power BI. Interesting, right? And this session will show you how to leverage alternative platforms for data visualization to gain actionable insights. Following that, we will dive into keywords and trend analysis for your brand, where you will learn to effectively use trends to optimize brand positioning and reach your target audience. Let's welcome Mr. Abhishek Sawant, the AGM of Digital Initiatives at Workhard Limited, who will guide us through these essential skills. Currently, leading digital initiatives and omni-channel marketing strategies at Workhard, Mr. Abhishek excels at driving innovation and adding cross-functional value to businesses. His passion for digital transformation was recently recognized when his team won the Best Omnichannel Strategy at the prestigious Indian Customer Excellence Summit Awards 2023. His career reflects his versatility, from his roots as a pharmacist to his leadership in marketing, combining both fields to drive success and transformation. Sir's passion for business growth and continuous learning makes him a true trailblazer. He has worked in organizations like Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, Trinity Healthcare, and PharmaRack. And his previous assignment was with DocPlexus as cluster lead of pharma projects. Over to you, sir. Let's welcome him with a round of applause.
A specific presentation. I'm actually going to make something on my laptop which will be visible on the screen. So if you want to just know in detail about it, you can occupy these front tables. Okay, it's a nice opportunity for you to just look at the screen first of all nicely, because from the back end till now screen was not there, but now something I'm going to make an attempt to create something on screen, and so that if you want to learn and understand in detail, ask any doubts, free for it. That is the reason it is called a workshop and not just a presentation or a session per se. Okay, fine, no problem. So when Ms. Dr. Swati asked me about to take some workshop on this, I thought of taking a workshop which will actually help us in our day-to-day lives. Should not be attended a session into the confluence and later on we forgot what was happening here. Correct? This is something which I did in Workhard also. I taught that specific tool in Workhard. Later on, we did a survey internally on our Pharma State WhatsApp group and asked them for data visualization, what is something which you use on daily basis. Correct? So mostly responses were Excel. Of maybe out of 100 people, say 55, 60 were saying Excel. Pending 20, 30 were saying Power BI. But I did a research on my own. I asked my other friends from the industry. Frankly, Power BI, people mostly use the certification to show off on LinkedIn that they have done something in Power BI. It is not so easy. The reason is pretty simple. To use Power BI, you need to understand the SQL very well, structured query language, which 90% of the pharma people or marketing people don't have access to it. Correct? So what I'm going to do today right now is actually create a dashboard, which will be like, because I handled even the e-com segment at Workhard, I will actually create one dashboard and let's analyze that in detail. It's a dynamic dashboard. I will not be using Microsoft Excel. I will not be using Power BI. I will not be using R. I will not be using SAS. I will not be using Amazon QuickSight. None of them. All of you must have heard a tool, which is a Google tool, which is called as a Looker Studio. Correct? People have heard about it. Half of them have seen it. Half of them have maybe explored it, and half of them have actually done it. Correct? So this is a nice way to actually use a democratized tool, which is as simple if you have a Gmail account. Okay, so first of all, I will create something of that sort, and let's later on discuss that compared to the traditional mode of maybe Excel or Power BI, how this tool can actually be a game changer in your daily life, daily life. You can actually go to office on Monday and start using, you can actually replace Excel and actually start impressing your bosses and analyze the data better. Correct? So let's start with a tool called as Looker Studio. Correct? So this is how a Looker Studio looks. So basically, if you see the overall the page of Looker Studio, you can see already there are so many ready-made templates available here. Templates are ready-made. Whether it is a YouTube, whether it is a paid marketing, whether it's a Google Analytics, everything is ready-made and embedded here. So your job is almost half done. Your job is almost half done. And you don't have to create anything separately. No pivot and tangent required. So I will start creating this one simple dashboard for sample. So if you have a Gmail account, you can log on Looker Studio and it itself becomes your privatized account. Correct? Fine. So just go through it. If you have any questions in between, you can ask. If you want to note down all the questions and ask at the end, great. Correct? So generally when I get any file, I had prepared a dummy file for it, for PSA workshop. So this is the kind of file which I get from maybe 1 mg or something of that sort. Correct? It's a CSV file, very complicated, and nobody likes to read that data. We waste a lot of time in analyzing that. So foremost thing you should do when you have a CSV file like this, and to get 100% accuracy, is convert into and copy paste into your Google account into Google Sheet. That is the best way you can do. Correct? Do that. You do have a lot of options here. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use any ready-made template here. I'm actually going to create something from scratch. Correct? So I'm right from scratch, I will click on blank report. Correct? So my blank report page has come here. And you can see there are so many widgets by which your data can get connected. Right from Looker, Google Analytics, Google Ads, Google Sheet, Excel, or CSV file upload, till the time your YouTube Analytics, your Tableau, your Shopify account. So that is one tool, even which has plus point over a Power BI. Because Power BI doesn't have access to so many different data connecting parts. So for keep it 100% accurate, I'm going to use my Google Sheets account. So I have just copy pasted their data into Google Sheet, which works 100% of the time. So that job I have already done. I will not repeat that step. So in my Google Sheet, it is already saved. So I will click on 1 mg March, which is the basic workshop file I have created. I will double click. Now the data is getting fetched. I can actually select. So if your one sheet has multiple sheets, you can actually select which sheet you want. So for reference, I have kept only sheet number 1, which I have clicked, and I will just say add here. Now, till the time it is downloading or fetching the data, the reason I'm recommending that use Google Sheet ka part which I recommended and not directly Excel sometimes, because if you don't have Office 365 or a latest version of Excel, data fetching becomes a problem. Now the question is why? Looker Studio is a Google product, Power BI is a Microsoft product. Correct? So there is no proper syncage between the two sometimes. I'm not saying accurate, but I don't even want you to go even 0.5% wrong in creating something like that. So when I get this table, that table is a proof my data is fetched. My data is ready. So what we are going to do is now, we are going to create the dashboard and analyze this simultaneously and design it together. Correct? Copy your Excel data, go to your Gmail account, open Google Sheet, copy paste, save. Ho gaya. Anything you can do. You can even try Excel if it works. Maybe if you have an updated account, it will work for you. Okay? Even CSV it works, but for this workshop I didn't want to take any risk for that matter. Correct? So I will start preparing the dashboard right now. I love to design it and analyze it together. एक मिनट sorry. Can I get a pad? Just my mouse is getting trouble. Yeah. So the way I prepare a dashboard is I start with the upper ribbon to actually understand what that dashboard is about. So I will just color it up with slightly hazy color. I have ready-made images kept. So generally this feature of adding any image is not available at Power BI. It is available in Looker Studio. So I will go to image. I will upload from the computer. I have my part ready. So it's a Tata 1mg workshop. Tata 1mg, I will just select here and keep it up. And if I want to add any such name, like what this dashboard is about, just take a text box, select here, and you can add any name like say B2C sales analysis. Let me do that. Just adjust the font. You can see it is absolutely easy to adjust the fonts of all this. I will just go and increase the font size. Correct, so my first ribbon is done. I will do the same step for the next ribbon. This is my second ribbon. I will select slightly a lighter font color. Correct. Now, the USP of any dashboard is obviously the KPIs and metrics which everyone wants to track. Now, the best part of this tool is that everything is already calculated in the backend. Correct. And to make this dashboard look slightly better, I have certain widgets and icons already downloaded. I will download that too, which is the USP. So unfortunately, there is no feature for selecting all together. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting certain widgets here, and I'm sure they are giving you an idea what kind of KPIs I'm actually going to use it. So basically, these 4 KPIs I have selected for you to understand that what I'm going to analyze from this data. This is about number of orders, which I want to understand. That's the reason I gave you that widget of orders. This is something about number of brands which were ordered online. This is the revenue, which will be termed as GMV, not the revenue per se. And this is the number of cities from which the orders were placed up. So now to put this widget, I need a scorecard. Scorecard is ready-made put here. So there is a segment called as add a chart. I go to add a chart, and you can see nice, all the graph options are already given here. I'm going to select this specific scorecard and double click and put it here. So my record has already come. I didn't do anything. Everything was by default selected. Let me style it up a bit. This is something, so I want to do it right now so that our dashboard looks nice and clean immediately. And I want to select any other font which will look a bit stylish, which is Impact. Correct? Just to give a slight heaviness. Now record count is nothing but number of rows in the Excel sheet, which I don't want. I want to change it. So you can see here the metric part, record count. Instead of record count, I will replace it with the number of orders. Can you see number of orders here? I will just drag and drop here. And number of orders changed. So many number of orders were placed via e-com portal on this. Next part is I can simply copy paste. There is some problem here, but no problem. Yeah, I got it. Cool. Now I want to know number of brands placed. The order here, I will replace it and I will put brands and put it here. It got changed to number of brands. So 35 number of brands were placed in this case. And here I want to understand customer city. From how many customer cities the order was placed. So almost 304 cities out of India, the order was placing up. So this is actually giving me an idea that how much is the internet penetration in India and where all the main cities where my brand is getting the main penetration. Now if I do same thing here, correct? If I do the same thing for revenue, I will get a very, very vast number. If the number is in lakhs, this space will completely get jacked up. So to avoid that, there is another feature here, which is the session session. The session part I will add, which is a compact version of it. Correct? The reason I'm adding compact version, this session word is derived from Google Analytics, where you actually check the number of sessions which were conducted online over a website. Okay? I'm going to do the same. I will just style it up again. Cool. So I will just switch the record from here because I want to know the GMV, and I will put the GMV here. Correct? So what does this indicate? 1.6 lakh GMV, is it equivalent to a revenue? Not necessary. The reason is the full form of GMV in e-com term is gross merchandise value, which is the total value of the goods traded on the platform. Some e-commerce gyan a bit more. Companies which have an inventory model, for them, GMV will be equivalent to a revenue. Companies which work on an aggregator model, for them GMV multiplied by the platform fees will be equivalent to a revenue. That is a difference. So for Zomato, this will not be a revenue, but for 1mg it will be, because 1mg buys the inventory. Zepto has started buying the inventory. So that is a difference. Correct? So my main KPIs are ready here, which I have put. Now I will start into the detail. So you can see that my first ribbon was about what it is. Second ribbon was about getting into key core KPI models. And my third part, which will be more on the graphs and the other visualization data. Yeah.
The customer city or the brand, what put the number? Is it a unique? Because in the
Yes. It is a unique. I will tell you why. When I'm clicking here, you can see CTD. I click on CTD. You can see it's a unique number. It's a distinct count. See here.
right.
Correct? It's a distinct count. So you can change that too. Okay? Done. Now I am adding another rectangle. Yeah, I don't like to keep blank spaces in dashboard, so I keep adding colors in between. Cool. Now let's start adding 6. So generally I will tend to add 6 such graphs. Correct? I won't have to do anything. Everything will be automatically calculated. So there is a part of add a chart. I will click here. I will add my first chart, which will be more like a bar chart, column chart. I will just click and I drop it here. It automatically caught what I am supposed to analyze. I didn't give any order. So it is city versus number of orders placed. That is one thing which added. I add another chart. This time I want a horizontal bar graph, which is, yeah, here. Now I will change that part here a bit because this is by default calculated. I will set it up. I don't want SKU name. Maybe I will take a brand name. And here brand and brand is same. X and Y axis is same, so it gave me equal. I want brand wise number of orders. So you can see everything changed. I just put a metric number of orders. If I want to remove CTD, I have removed it. So I know the brand have been aligned. If I want to change the style, I can simply go here, change the color to the color I want, and I have changed that. Fine, so brand wise order, city wise order I have got. Let me put another chart, which will be more like pie chart for understanding the market share. So brand wise market share, if I want to understand, I can keep this graph. Now you see, I didn't put even any axis. This tool automatically calculated what I am supposed to do next. What are the trends I am supposed to capture? That is the benefit of this tool. Very interesting, way easier to understand. Fine. Now I'm going to do next part of it. I want to understand in India, okay, I want to understand what is the penetration, or rather what is the concentration of my orders coming from geographically. For that, it is important to understand the bubble chart. Correct? Creating bubble chart in Excel is tough, very tough. All of us have somewhere tried and tested. There is a bubble chart here. I will add bubble map, which will be here. Now it is showing the error. Correct? It is showing the error. Reason is because I have not chose the metric only. I can't select a brand metric and put a bubble chart, it will show the error. Geographical chart is about selecting the city. So here you can see invalid dimension. I will select customer city and drop it here. I have mix matched the cities here just for data, so you can see some orders coming from North America and all also. Correct? So you can see the penetration of my city. You can see my northeast belt is slightly more penetrated. This is the inference can be drawn from this specific graph. The northeast metric is slightly more concentrated. Let me add another donut chart. If you have any questions, please ask. That is the benefit of this workshop. I can keep answering and I can keep doing this simultaneously. So maybe I don't want to know order and customer city. I want to know maybe brand and GMV to understand which brand has how much market share in my orders. Correct? Simple. So I have just changed names of the brand, taken some random names here and there, just for the sake of workshop. And last but not the least, I want to know the quantities, number of quantities sold. Because in case, now why the number of quantities part is important, let me add that chart first. I will put tree map. Surprisingly, tree map doesn't look like a tree, so be careful. We have a habit of calling wrong graphs wrong names. The graph which looks like a spider graph, we call it a spider web graph. No, it is called a radar chart. Okay, tree map looks like a rectangle, not a tree. Okay, fine. So I want to, the brand ho gaya, I want to order number of quantities. So units sold ho gaya, I will just add it here. Cool. So ideally, now to analyze, I have something ready. I will add a filter to analyze, because whenever, in case we are sitting for any discussion, I guess it is important to understand if there are 5 people. Generally, discussion starts after we upload something like that sort. And how it supersedes that, I will still tell you. So now there is a part called as add a control. Correct? Control means filter. I will just select this filter and I will put maybe a drop-down list over here. And I don't want a drop-down list of my brand. I want a drop-down list of the city. So you can see the brand ka filter here. Just select customer city and drop it. Done. So basically my analysis is ready. Okay. If you instead of showing a pivoted graphs to your bosses, if you show him, he will be mind blown. There will be 80% chances he himself can't do it. Of course, because this tool nobody has explored. Correct? We all keep having romances with our Excel sheets for no reason. There are better tools available. But this doesn't end here. If somebody asks me what about Bangalore, I will simply click on Bangalore and the entire data gets adjusted with the Bangalore. I just clicked on Bangalore. No. After selecting Bangalore, the entire data got adjusted with the Bangalore. So only in Bangalore, how many brands were sold? Only from Bangalore, how many orders came? Only for Bangalore, how many GMV came? That's why the city is only one, because I selected only one city.
So can you do the heading Bangalore? Heading.
Not needed, because if I clicked on Bangalore here, sir, correct, I just clicked on this graph. Then entire graph got arranged with that one filter. Correct? Not at all, not needed. See, if you have multiple filters, you can. Correct? But here it is not needed. Now, for example, here customer city, there is a need a filter. I will tell you why. The reason is, here top 10 cities are shown. What about Darbhanga or Hubli, which is not shown here? Let me go to the bottom. Banka. Anybody from Banka? No. Yeah, hai to hai. So from Banka, one order came 300 rupees ka.
So same for the brand also.
Anything is possible. See, there will be somebody from Banka, no? You can even take a decision based on whether I should put an MR in this city or no, based on this. Correct? Yeah, please. Yes, you can do that. So there is a provision in the chart. Okay. So let me check here. So if I click here, if I go to the bottom, here at the bottom, there is a field. It is not shown because it is slightly dark. Here, what I have done is, I have enabled that connectivity. You can disable the connectivity, and you can even have a static graph. correct? But generally we prefer to connect it all, so I didn't disable anything. I wanted the entire graph to be dynamic, if not static, correct? Now, in our day-to-day use cases where this can actually, where this can actually be helpful. Generally in presentations I have seen, whenever people make a graph, whenever people make any analysis, they make a graph, they take a screenshot of it, they attach it into a presentation and present that. So ideally what you have done is you have eliminated your Excel, you have eliminated your PowerPoint, you have eliminated efforts to do copy pasting there. Now this was about one sheet only, correct? What if I have multiple sheets? If you have a multiple sheets there is an option of add page. You can add a new page, you can select another sheet, make that graph, and when you are presenting directly, maybe your one visualization could be this, which is about your basic e-com analysis. Maybe your next visualization could be something more in detail about it. So this also acts as my slide changer. I won't have to do anything of that sort. Correct? There is another funny element to it. In case you are getting bored of making dashboards, you got bored of analyzing the data, you feel like going somewhere in India and just reminiscing it. Let's see what you can do. So you can see a small Pegman here, the Pac-Man. Just lift that Pac-Man and drop him somewhere in Rajasthan. And you are into some nice Haveli of Rajasthan, okay? Yeah, it is attached to Google Map. So you can just go around, roam around in the Haveli, kuch darshan varshan karna hai to kar lo, okay? Have fun, okay? Discuss, meet somebody, and then come back. When I showed this to my other BU heads, they said, is it a possibility that I attach this with my medical rep's body? So I, kahin pe bhi shirt pe, kahin pe bhi. So I know कि actually काम कर रहा है कि इधर किधर बैठा हुआ है. Geotagging, correct? So that was the request from the BU heads कि I should know कि अगर मैंने हवेली पे डाल दिया कि ऐसा ना हो कि वही हवेली पे बैठा हुआ है और काम नहीं कर रहा. Correct? So we have had a nice tour of Mehrangarh Fort. From anybody from Rajasthan? No? Okay, good. So you have seen Rajasthan ka glimpse now. Cool. Fantastic. So this is how one thing is about this specific tool. You are eliminating the use of Excel. Now imagine if you have to create same thing in Excel. First it is difficult, it is not easy. You need a lot of practice. And now you can see the number of graphs we have added, including the KPIs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 plus 6, 10, and 1 filter. You will have to create at least 10 pivot tables, at least 10 graphs, add a filter, 10 multiplied by 10, which is you have to report connection with the filter. So every pivot filter needs to be report connected with 10 different graphs. So 10 into 10, 100 clicks are saved. I know it is not a big deal of saving it, but imagine the efforts of saving it. Because you will not need to do so much of jhol jhapeta in Excel. Because in case of pivot table, when you are reporting connections, every filter needs to be reported to every graph you connect. Even if one single small tick box is missed, your dashboard will get stuck. Correct? That is something which not what you want to do. You want something easy, fast way to analyze. And data analysis is not something which I did right now. Data analysis is something which will start after this. Correct? This is just a small duty I did. But if we can save our time of beautifying it, it is great. Beautifying graphs in Excel is difficult because it is not so easy to do that. Correct? So this was about creating something absolutely from scratch. Correct? Now let's take another example of, in case I'm exceeding my time, let me know. In case, 10 minutes more of the, theek hai. In case I want to use something ready-madely available, I don't even want to take efforts for that. That also, and the provision is I have available. Correct? So let me just go. I will show you the one small dashboard of Google Analytics, which is readily made by default in Looker Studio. I will just change my Google Gmail account. I will say GA4 report, which is Google Analytics report. I will select it. I will select which website I want to maybe learn about. And everything is ready. I didn't do anything. I have selected the website which I want to analyze. It is linked to my another Gmail account. Already ready. Huh? It is already connected. GA4 is already connected, so you just need a Gmail account for that. You just connect when you make a website, you clear that UTM tracking code to there. And you can see here, already 5, even they have even given the names of the presentation. One is about summary and trend, one is about which device and category, which top countries the traffic is coming from, the source of other part, etc. Conversion and top notch, etc. So everything is already there. I didn't even do anything. I just simply touched and everything came into picture. Now, if I do the same thing here and I use a separate Gmail account and try to do Google Analytics apart from there, let me see what I get. So there is, yeah. So actual page of Google Analytics will look something like this, the way it is loading. Correct? It is a natural page. But if you see, this page is not as aesthetically appealing as the other one. I have to recreate it. I have to copy paste some data. So my another friend from my office, when she was doing Facebook ads, what she was doing, I saw her that she was actually copy pasting the data and putting on the presentation to show it to somebody. That step is eliminated completely. That is not needed. Because by default, what I want to present, I can present from here only. I exactly know which category I want to present. I can select the dates, and dynamically I can present and have a discussion. I will not need to use any other tool if I have this tool. That is the big first plus point. Correct? Going back to our previous dashboard, which we made. Let's go back. And just some 2-3 pointers that, one second, if it is getting loaded, yeah. Cool. So the reason why I have specifically mentioned you don't need Power BI because it's, first of all, it's a costly tool. Everyone needs a license to it if you want to access it. Second is licenses are costly. Everyone doesn't have it. First of all, Power BI or any other tool like Amazon QuickSight, it's a desktop downloadable feature. It is not a cloud-based feature like Looker. So Looker, you know, I didn't download it. I didn't have to download it. I just had to go to Looker Studio and start doing my own work. Second part, if we have to share this link with somebody. So for Power BI, if you are sharing that link with somebody, that person needs to have a Microsoft account. If you don't have that, you can't open the link only. Correct? And if you switch the laptops, you can't see that. Here, anybody who has a Gmail account can open, edit, search, study, everything he can do. I think all of us have a Gmail account. That is the big plus USP of this. So in terms of cost, in terms of user friendliness, in terms of availability, in terms of analysis, and most of all, aesthetic presentation of a data, I think Google Studio definitely scores at least a couple of points over Power BI because you don't even need to know SQL for that. Learning SQL takes time. So this is what mainly I had to show you around. And last, I guess, 5 minutes are left. So I will show one small tool for your data or website analysis. Till now, if anybody has a doubt, you can ask. Yeah, they are open to ask questions. They already asked few questions. Yeah, please. Yeah.
If you want to add the zone level data, mostly what we analyze on a day-to-day basis, everyone is like, what is the CAGR, what is the growth, what is the percentage contribution, and zone-wise, region-wise. Can you do that here?
You can do that, but for that what you have to do is, in case that specific CAGR part is not available, correct? Then there is a item here.
Here itself, we can have zone-wise with this data?
No, this specific data doesn't have zone-wise. That zone-wise part needs to be in my Excel sheet.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That is where I have used Google Studio, and that is where Excel comes in, wherein you can play with the base data itself. This is good. I'm not contradicting. So the play with the base data itself, you can tailor make it. If there is no zone, you can map the zones. You can do something else also. So that is where the Excel comes in. So this is good as far as presentation.
Correct. This was only for visualization.
I just wanted to know whether there is another way to do it.
There is a provision. There is a provision. I will tell you how. For example, here, there is a part here known as add field. Correct? Add a field. By adding a field, you have to give certain command here and calculate that field. Correct? If you can do that, great. Otherwise,
That requires a lot of learning. You are right. Yeah, that requires a lot of learning. Yeah.
so best way is see, if you want to create some zones in Excel itself, add your zones, okay, put a pin code, and this will capture that entire data anyway for visualization. So that was the USP of this tool. Cool. So I thought of checking. So we lot of had a discussion about. Yeah. Please. Okay, I can hear you.
So in Power BI, we basically have Parquet, right?
Correct.
With the help of which we can clean the data.
Right.
So you are suggesting for cleaning the data to be used in this tool, we have to take help of Excel first. Data cleaning.
See, this is a visualization tool, not an analysis tool. Correct? So if my data is bad, any kind of tool is not going to give me a solid result. Correct? So if you have Power BI, you are cleaning that data. Why not clean in your base file itself? Remove the unnecessary junk. So that, for example, out of 10 columns in your Excel sheet, you want to analyze only 5 columns, frankly. Nobody wants to know, maybe if it is a field force data, nobody wants to know their employee ID. So वो नहीं चाहिए तो clear that part there only. Keep only 5 columns, which will ultimately give you the KPIs. And analyze and create this, because if you see my previous CSV file, it had multiple things. I had deleted almost 6 or 7 which I don't need. Correct? And this was only 1 month data. You can even connect multiple month data and also add date as a filter, timeline as a filter, slicer as a filter, and do that. Correct? Fine. So some final takeaway. There is one tool called as SEM Rush. A lovely tool. So couple of discussion had that when digital marketing started, everyone wanted to make our website, correct? And then everyone blamed that how digital doesn't work. Website kiya, but there is no traffic on that. So let's see why that is the reason behind it, correct? So that you can go in the office day after tomorrow and show off your knowledge. Okay. Let's start with our very common favorite disease, diabetes. If I type diabetes in Google, okay, now India is a diabetic capital hub. Every pharma company is jumping on create diabetes molecules. If I type diabetes in Google, which website comes first? Which company's website comes first? Frankly, any pharma company's website doesn't come even in first 10 to 15 searches. The first company or other first organization whose data comes when I type diabetes is WHO. After that, Mayo Clinic. After that, Cleveland Clinic. The reason is simple. To create a website, you need to update it regularly. Correct? So there are steps by which an engine searches and shows you the display. So there are algorithms like Panda, Bard, etc., which actually filter the quality of the content which you have. Correct? So actually the steps of the website search look like, an algo search, then display. They even check on which the website is made. If the reason people are now moving towards things like Node.js, etc., because their display, it is called an off-page SEO. Their display is faster compared to WordPress or PHP ka display. That's why creating website in Node or Java, other JavaScript is costlier because they give you that leverage over it. Okay. Now coming back to our another query, that why none of Indian pharma company or any pharma company's products, when you type diabetes, that website never comes on top. There is a reason behind it. So I will type diabetes. Okay, I don't want to check anything else. I will just search. Cool. So this just tells you that how many Indians are searching diabetes. The reason why we are never ranked and will never rank in future, because you see there is something called as KD, keyword difficulty. So we have a brand called as MROC in Wokhad. If I type MROC or our molecule levonorifloxacin, my website which I've created ranks 5th in Google. Is it my achievement? Of course not, because that brand is a patented brand. And nobody's searching that, whose KD, keyword difficulty, is below 30%, below 25%. Keyword difficulty tells you how difficult it is for a specific keyword to rank top on a Google search page. When your keyword difficulty level is 100%, that indicates it will take you at least 14 months of consistent content generation to make your website rank in top 10. So diabetes has 100% keyword difficulty, means it is almost impossible for you to rank in top 5 or top 10. We have done this exercise before in our company also. USV is number 1 in diabetes market as per their glimepiride portfolio, but still it doesn't rank. Couple of companies have their website mentioned in their BU heads visiting card. If you click on that, website will not start only. Correct? So it is not that it doesn't work. It is just that we don't take so much of efforts to work it around. Cool. So this is something which you can help you write about CPC. Tentatively, if you were to do a paid marketing cost, you will incur 15 rupees per click for somebody to click on your website. That's what the CPC is about. And then you can actually say that in terms of diabetes, what people are searching around. Then maybe, in case you ever feel like making or creating a content, you can take hint from these. What people are typing about diabetes, and if I create a content based on this, it will be relatively easier for me to capture the attention, because that exact content keyword will be captured by the Google and will be shown on top. Okay. I will not take much of a time. That's what I had to show you. I hope you had some interesting learning here. Thank you so much. SEM Rush, same Rush. Yeah.
And suppose I am putting my brand, like augmentation.
हाँ देखते हैं ना.
Will it give the highlights of the?
हाँ देंगे सब देंगे. Sorry, ये domain name हो गया. Sorry sir. Keyword difficulty is 75%.
You can check your brand difficulty also here.
Yes. So basically it is not a brand, any keyword का difficulty. Augmentin मतलब अगर मैंने किसी ने augmentin search किया तो मेरे पास 25% चांस ही है कि मेरा वेबसाइट टॉप 10 में आएगा, क्योंकि डिफिकल्टी लेवल उतना है. उसके बारे में ऑलरेडी बहुत कुछ बातचीत हो चुकी है. करेक्ट. Cool. So it's an excellent tool to learn, to understand your content creation, to understand the journey of your website, why your website is ranking higher, why it doesn't rank higher. Okay, so in case your BU heads asked, okay, apna digital market, digital will not work around, you can take him through SEM Rush and blow his mind and tell him to shut up for a while. Okay, thank you so much.
That was truly an amazing session, and I believe that we'll surely implement these learnings. Like Sir mentioned something so less complicated, but yet completely mind-blowing. Let's give him a round of applause. I request Dr. Satish Gupta from Pharma State Academy to felicitate Mr. Abhishek Sawant.
I will say, like, it was an amazing thing that he has shown, and we are live at Zoom also and YouTube also. I asked for the star rating, received 31 ratings and all 5-star. So that kind of thing it was, and I really appreciate his the way he has explained. It was so easy and nice. So once more.